Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County Forum for candidates for Snohomish County Councilperson District 2. I'm Karen Matson, a member of the League. This forum is being live streamed to our League YouTube channel. To those watching us live, thank you for joining us. A recording of the forum will be available on this same YouTube channel for later viewing. We refer to these primary forums as virtual doorbelling. We'll ask a few of the kinds of questions you might ask of a candidate who came to your door, designed to give you a clear idea of each candidate's experience and the issues she or he believes are important to address. Let me provide some background on the position. The County Council is the legislative authority for the county that identifies and responds to the needs of citizens. Council members adopt the budget, including the budgets of elected county officials, maintain zoning, critical areas ordinance, and shoreline master plan, serve as the County Board of Health and supervise the County Health Department, address issues such as homelessness, climate impacts, environmental protection, flooding, adopt and implement building codes, and work with other local governments and nonprofits. Candidates for County Council Member for District 2 are Megan Dunn, Georgia Fisher, Kristina A. Mitchell. The League thanks all the candidates for running for office, for their willingness to serve the community if elected, and for participating in this forum. It's the policy of the League to be nonpartisan. Therefore, we neither endorse nor oppose these or any other candidates or parties. We do take positions on issues which we have studied and on which we have reached consensus. The rules for participation were sent ahead of time to all the candidates, and they've agreed to engage in respectful communication throughout the forum. During the question and answer period, I'll pose the questions and I'll clearly state the amount of time allowed for each answer. We're using a countdown timer, which is visible to all the candidates, and we're using time limits on answers, which will be strictly enforced. I'll change the starting order for each question, alternating candidates in the starting position to ensure a fair sequence. The order for the first question will be Georgia Fisher, then Kristina Mitchell, and finally, Megan Dunn. Let's begin. Candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to this first question. Ms. Fisher, your first question is, if elected, what will be your top priorities? Please explain why you will be focusing on these issues.
Hi, thank you for inviting me to this forum. This is great and a great opportunity to communicate with voters. My 3 top priorities are the cleanup of our county, the physical safety of our residents. We have severe problems with safety issues in our community, and also supporting business growth for economic growth in our community. So when I'm out and about and speaking to people regarding my candidacy, the issue that comes up more than any other is our public safety, the crime, the problems in the street. People are affected day and night by this, and we see our problems growing, not getting better. Recently, I did a ride along with the Sheriff's Department. That was a real eye-opener. I think those people are wonderful, the men and women in law enforcement. But boy, I tell you, we have programs out there, and we're just surrounded by illegal encampments, drug addicts on the street, conditions getting worse over the past couple of years, nothing getting better, and the public is alarmed at what is going on. Drug activity goes hand in hand with the rise in crime. So that's my big issue that I'm going to be working on, should I be elected, is cleaning up of our community and making it safe again. Because we have great potential here in Snohomish County, and we can't even realize it because we can't even get through the streets. So I would ask that people take a look at the loitering problems and what is being done by our county, in effect, trying to hide the homeless away from view. And I don't want to hide them away. I want to get them on a path to recover. That's my 3 main issues. And I thank you again for this opportunity to be speaking with voters. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Ms. Mitchell? Ms. Mitchell, you're on mute.
Hello. I also thank you for this opportunity to speak on the topics that are of priority myself. My biggest priority is also public safety, and that is across the board, everybody's. Like Georgia said, it is a mess in some areas. However, the police department in Snohomish County just got a handsome contract, and they are actually doing a really good job cleaning up right now. We have a lot more community involvement, so that is actually on the up and up. And it's in one isolated area of Snohomish County, more so than all of Snohomish County. We do have pretty good community members, but my priority would be to maintain that efforts to keep the homeless in that direction that we're starting. Second biggest thing that I would prioritize is the environmental changes, as we do face a large population increase. Of course, we need to learn, or we need to acclimate to the changes in the population, and we need to acclimate to that growth and development, and we need to also focus on, the job growth and expansion, the employment rate. We also need to make sure that our union members are taken care of, and the employers, and understanding how that works, the contract negotiations with the unions and the private sectors, and how that works. And last but not least, obviously, the education infrastructure, and going forth and reevaluating all of that. I know I'm running out of time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Dunn?
Hi, thank you. I share my thanks in your hosting this event. So for me, the most important issues are affordability, sustainability, and livability, which includes public safety. Under affordability, I really support the smart growth. So working families, seniors, and residents all feel safe and welcome and can afford to stay in Snohomish County. Examples include allowing ADUs and DADUs and streamlining our permitting so that we can bring down the cost of housing. I also championed a funding source for stable housing and for for behavioral health, so that ensuring there's an equitable implementation of those dollars is critical for this next term. For sustainability, we've made really critical investments in green infrastructure and jobs in renewable resources so that we can ensure that Snohomish County is on the forefront of this movement. And that includes advocating for biofuels and energy efficiency programs, which we started up this past year. I've also championed adding elements in our for climate change, which include protecting tree canopy, tribal consultation, and those are for our 2024 comprehensive plan update, which I've been proud to work with the League of Women Voters on that issue. For livability, I'll continue to fight so that Snohomish County residents all feel safe and respected, that neighbors in transition have housing and treatment, that we have efficient transportation, and that those choices are barrier-free, and that everyone can enjoy the abundant natural resources that our county has to offer. We've made investments in public safety, like adding crisis responders, more prosecuting attorneys, support for our defense attorneys, and as Ms. Mitchell talked about, the contract for our sheriff's deputies. And I focus on these issues because as I'm out in the community, those are the main concerns I hear from people, and I'm proud to have taken steps to make differences in these areas, but we still have a lot of work to do. I'm proud to be here in this county, and I'm thankful to have support of small business owners, our Tulalip tribes, the county Democrats, Sierra Club, our Labor Council,
Thank you
our
very much,
teachers and
Ms.
nurses.
Dunn. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Candidates will have 90 seconds for each of the next two questions. Timer, please adjust the clock accordingly. Ms. Mitchell, you will lead off on this question. What qualifications and experience make you a good choice to address these issues? Ms. Mitchell, be sure to unmute, please.
Sorry about that. The general job description of and the responsibility of the county council is to mitigate and litigate contracts and work with, like Megan said, tribal people of the community of all diversity. And it is our responsibility to do collective bargaining agreements, contract approval, permitting, grievances, labor relations, compliance, budget considerations, etc. I have extensive experience in litigation and mitigation and also mediation. I believe that I'm qualified just based on my background alone. We can get into that later because I only have a limited amount of time to explain just on that alone. I have not only extensive experience in life, but I also have a college degree that's pretty extensive that actually focuses on the actual job description of the county council, and I can be of benefit to the council in a non-biased way and stick to the job that needs to be done and not steer into a different direction and get distracted.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Dunn?
Thank you. Well, it has been my absolute honor to serve in this position for the last 4 years. I have a 20-year background in nonprofit leadership and environmental policy work. I have a master's degree in policy studies and a proven track record in successful community advocacy. For example, working on districts and working for years collaboratively to solve complex problems. I led that effort to create districts in Everett for fair and equitable representation, and I was easily able to transfer those skills for leadership, organizing, and policy expertise to the county council. And at the council level, I've led efforts for recovery from COVID. I organized all of our human service providers with weekly calls and then monthly calls, and we were able to see real progress by getting our rent relief out faster than any other county. Also, I've been recognized in leadership and was chair of the council last year and vice chair the year before that, and also serve on a number of boards and commissions to adequately and appropriately represent the county. I think it's really important that we have a person in this position that has progressive values and is willing to jump in and do the work and approach issues from a different perspective and work together with others to really solve the issues that are facing the county and work well with the executive and other council members. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Ms. Fisher? Ms. Fisher, your microphone is muted.
Thank you. I do see that some policies are not working, and the evidence is right there in our streets. The problems in the streets, the problems that need to be addressed, and some measures are being sought out but not working, and that bothers me greatly. My background is in working with college students in a community college. I've worked in aerospace industry for more than 30 years, almost 40 years. First at Rockwell International on the space shuttle program, and then Boeing Company here in Everett on a couple of different model airplanes. And I still hold the Boeing Company near and dear to my heart. I tell you that because the impact of what is happening in this community with regards to homelessness and drug addiction is not being met, and it's impacting all our businesses. Just drive over to the Boeing Company and see all the graffiti on their signs posted on the highway. I find it absolutely disgusting. On the more personal vein, my experience has been community service along the lines of Pasado's Safe Haven. I love animals, and I'm very compassionate for animals as well as people. Fisher House, which helps veterans who have had injuries.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fisher. We appreciate it. Ms. Dunn, you're first on this next question, another 90-second time limit. Councils, commissions, and boards are required to deliberate and make decisions in public and to hear from those whose ideas may differ. Please give us an example that demonstrates your ability to work in this way.
Thank you. I think this is a really important question because being on council is really group work. I serve on over 15 boards and commissions where I'm representing the county, not myself, but representing the county on regional boards and statewide boards and commissions. I think an indication of working well with others is to be selected or voted on for leadership positions. I'm currently chair of our Clean Air Agency, which is a 4-county regional board. I'm also the new chair of the Health Department Board of Health, and then vice chair of the Growth Management Board for the Puget Sound Regional Council. So in 2022, I was chair of the council, and I was proud to lead a unanimous council amendment and unanimous vote for our $1.5 billion budget. We even had a Dunn Lowe amendment, which was between myself and Councilmember Lowe, we were at opposite ends of the spectrum, but we saw a need to come together on this amendment, and we passed that unanimously and then passed our council budget. So to me, we had a deliberate and open process. It was transparent, but very effective. We had full council support. Other examples are passing unanimous ordinances on apprenticeship utilization. We had public safety changes for designated crisis responders, and over 90% of our votes are unanimous. So having known leadership in this position is critical for our county.
Thank you. Ms. Fisher, your thoughts?
Thank you. I've been on many committees through my employers over the years. I've led teams. I have been on the board of Snohomish County Republican Party for many years, a PCO working with the community, and a women's club president for 2 terms. We don't always see eye to eye on everything, but by listening to others, laying out a thoughtful plan and utilizing some give and take, we always work things out, and we end up in full agreement. That's something we do. We've either learned it through life experience or we haven't. And fortunately, I have. As chair of my legislative district, I work collaboratively with other members and listen to their concerns as well. As a county council member, I well represent the people. That is the job, and I welcome their input. I want to hear their concerns, and we can find solutions, viable outcomes that get us the results we are seeking. There is no personal agenda here. I am coming out of retirement to work for the people and our community. This is my passion to help the people of Snohomish County and make better choices, better leadership decisions, and improve our county to be the place we want to enjoy. Thank you so much for that question.
You're very welcome. Ms. Mitchell? Ms. Mitchell, unmute, please.
Like Megan said, that this is a really excellent question. And I'm gonna go into a little bit of my background. I am an educator, and at times I educate 150 kids a day. That takes some significant leadership and from very diverse little minds. Fast forward to the fact that I have also led and been in charge of producing large productions with Disney and Universal and New York Fashion Week and the Children's Division, where I also have dealt with diverse personalities and different mindsets, different wants, different needs, different ideas, in order to pull them together and compromise on the show must go on, if you will. It's all the same. Politics is everywhere. Politics can be worse in some cases, better in another, but it all comes together when we have the right leadership and the right mindset to teach and deliver a modality that encourages people to meet them where they are and meet in the middle.
Thank you very much. Timer, please note that candidates will have 60 seconds for our final question. Ms. Fisher will have the first opportunity to respond, and the question is, please tell us something about your life experience that might surprise or intrigue voters.
Oh my gosh, I have a long life. I have so many experiences, but let me just tell you a little bit about my family, which became multicultural when my mother married her second husband, a Filipino man with 5 children and large extended family. And that became a whole new life experience. And he's actually the one who got me interested in politics many years ago, because he had been in the court system in the Philippines, and he came to America by choice, and he worked to get his kids here. So that is a whole experience, and I could talk about that for hours. And he did pass 2 years ago, so he's still close to the hearts of all of us in the family. My other experience is things that I've done through life that have all led me to this point. This was not a career plan. This is not where I was headed in life. I did other things, and now I'm here, and I'm so proud of the work I'm doing to help.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Appreciate it. Ms. Mitchell.
Things that might surprise voters. Well, my husband's from Darwin, Northern Territory, so I married myself an Aboriginal. My kids are mixed race, Aborigine, and I guess Norwegian, if you will. That's what I am. My husband's sister is in the WNBA. And something else that's really cool is the last 6 months, I've been working with Ted Cruz's team to bring a family home that was wrongly deported to Canada, home with their minor child who is left in Texas. And we are so close to bringing them home and reunifying them as family. I've done a lot of different things, but that's about it right now that has been currently happening in my life right now.
Thank you for that, Ms. Dunn.
Sure. So I can guarantee I'm the only person who's performed CPR on a gorilla. So I used to work at the Gorilla Foundation, where we taught gorilla sign language. So I worked with Coco the gorilla. I had moved to California for that job. I'd been a waitress. I studied sign language in college and biology, and took sign language. So I moved to California for this job, and we were teaching. We had 3 gorillas there. Coco's the most famous, but we had a tragic day where Mike the gorilla collapsed, and myself and other caregivers, we went in and we performed CPR on him. He didn't make it, but I did learn a lot about emergency preparedness. But it is definitely a unique characteristic to say that I've performed CPR on a gorilla. And I met my husband there, and we got married, and we've been married 20 years. So it was a good place to work, to meet some of the best people in my life.
Well, thank you to all 3 of you. We appreciate that. The League appreciates these candidates for joining us and for running for office. A recording of this forum and others will be available on the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County website and YouTube channel. Find links at lwvsnoho.org. We encourage you to explore additional information about these and all candidates. The Snohomish County voter pamphlets were mailed to residences starting July 12th. Primary election ballots will be mailed starting July 13th. Election day is August 1st. Please be a voter. Thank you to our whole League Candidate Forum team. Tonight, our backup moderator is Vicki Roberts-Gassler. The timer is Laura Dangle, coordinator and backup timer Phyllis Bush, and tech host Karen Crowley. And special thanks to Dave Moon and Carissa Weichel and all the Sultan School students at TurkPride.tv who made this live stream possible. And of course, thank you all for joining us. This concludes our candidate forum.